Welcome back. We're going to create your second table now. My preferred way of creating tables is to go into the Create tab and choose Table Design. This lets us create a table in design mode. And I like it because it has all of the information and everything you need to adjust fields for your table right here. The other reason I like it is because this used to be the only way to create tables years and years ago. And I've been using Access since Access 97, so this is just sort of what I got used to using. My first field will be Pet ID. It's going to be an auto number. It's going to be the primary key. Putting this here is just a description. To actually make it the key, you have to click next to the Pet ID field name to the left of it, and then you need to, in the Design tab under Table Tools, click on the primary key. That puts a picture of the key there, and it lets Access know that this is your key field. The next field will be owner first, and that's going to be short text. Owner last, that's going to be short text. Kind of pet, that's going to be short text. Breed, that will be short text, and pet name. Now I can go and I can start adjusting these. When you create a table, you want to be careful with your field sizes. So here I have my owner first name, and the field size is set to 255. That's reserving enough space for 255 characters. We're never going to get an owner first name that long. We can be generous and set it to, say, 35 or so. But if you're setting it to 255, if you leave it at the defaults when you don't really need it, your database will take up more room than it needs to take up. And at some point, if you have a large database, that matters. So you should get in the habit of setting appropriate field sizes because it helps keep your database smaller in size. We're not going to worry about anything else except the caption, which again is what's going to show up in our table view when people look at it. The camelback notation I'm using for the field name that you see in Design View is because it's easier for the computer to read. The caption is where you make it easier for humans to read. So it's going to be owner space first, and both will be capitalized. And then we'll do the same thing for the owner last name. Set it to 35. Caption owner last. Kind of pet is going to get a caption of kind of pet, and then we're going to come back to that when I'm done fixing everything else. Breed is going to get a caption of breed with a capital B, and the breed, we'll go ahead and leave that set to 35 as well. And then pet name probably won't be more than 35 letters, and the caption pet name. Now I wanted to come back to the kind of pet. Here under the data type, we have other options. We have the options of short text, long text, number, date, time, currency, auto number, which is a counter, yes, no, OLE. That's a linked and embedded object, so if you were to attach an image, you would do it through there. A hyperlink, an attachment, a calculated field, or you can do the lookup wizard, which will link to a field in another table, and that's what we want to do. So you're going to select the lookup wizard, and we're going to choose I want the lookup field to get the values from another table or query, and then we're going to click the next button. It asks us which table or query should provide the values for your lookup field, and we want it to be the table kind of pet, so we're going to go ahead and click next. Which fields of table kind of pet contain the values you want included in your lookup field? The fields you select become columns in your lookup field. You can select more than one. We only need one to be visible. We want the kind of pet field to be visible. We can sort if we wish, and I like to alphabetize. I think it makes it easier for people to find what they're looking for. Then we're going to hit next, and this is what people are going to see as their options from that lookup list. We're going to hit next again, and we're going to leave the label as kind of pet, and we're going to hit finish. It tells us that the table must be saved before the relationships can be created. Save now. Hit yes. Name the table TBL Pets. Hit OK. Now we're going to go into the data sheet view. So in the top left hand corner you're going to click the down arrow under view and select data sheet view. And here we can actually do some simple data entry. Regardless on whether or not you have a pet, I want you to be the first entry in your table. And if you do have a pet, go ahead and put one in. Oh look, I started to type something that wasn't in the list. By using a list, it forces you to match one of the items here, and then I can select dog. I did start to type the letter D, and it should come up, but I accidentally typed another letter after that. If I type C, it would be cat. But I have a dog, I have a Bouvier, and her name is Nessie. And I can hit tab to move between the fields. Now I'm not going to make you do data entry for a whole table worth of data here. Instead, I'm going to teach you in the next step how to import data from a comma separated value, which is a type of Excel file or a file that Excel can read. So I want you to close the table now, and before we go into the next step, which will be importing data, I want to show you one of our database tools. Access is called a relational database because tables are related to each other. And if you look at the relationships, you can see how they're related to each other. You can see that my pet ID is linking to kind of pet. Now it displays the kind of pet name, but it links to the ID because it's guaranteed to be unique. So whenever you create a table that looks up something from another table, this field is related to that table, and the lines between them show you how the two tables are related. So now you can get caught up, create this table, then come back and I'm going to show you how to import data. Before you come back, make sure that you've downloaded the data file from the classroom so that you have the data to import.